Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and I'm the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo Glitter. In today's tutorial, we are going to be using the acrylic SnowGlobe blanks from Cami Page Boutique. If y'all have not seen these or purchased them, you are missing out. They are so fun to make and so adorable, and just add a little bit more interest to your Christmas tree. Who else has a snow globe on their Christmas tree? I think they're so fun. Everything you see listed here will be covered in today's tutorial, but if you guys have questions, you are always free to ask. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my upcoming tutorials. Also, don't forget to check out the description where I list all items you will need to recreate this tutorial, as well as discount codes from my favorite suppliers. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started on this tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright y'all, so here are all of the items we're going to use today. These are the acrylic blanks. They come in 3 pieces. You have a backing, then you have this center ring which allows for the liquid and glitter to move around, and then you have the top piece. Brooke also has different types of glitter juice, which is SnowGlobe solution. She has the Slow Ride, Fast AF Boy, and middle of the road, and we are going to be using middle of the road today. I want movement in the snow globes, but I don't want it to be super quick and the glitter just fall to the bottom. So Brooke apparently likes to seal that really well. I could not get this seal off of this bottle, so if you're worried about it busting during transit, you don't have to worry about that. And what I just showed was her little snow globe holder, which we will use later in the tutorial. If you don't have that, I do suggest it. It helps putting the liquid in super easy. So I am going to add some vinyl to the backing. This is kind of going to be the background of our snow globe. I'm just going to use some vinyl patterns. This is some scrap vinyl that I have that had some smudges on it, so I was not going to seal it. And I am just tracing the backing or the protective sheet from the blank because I know it is the size that I need. And once I have my circles drawn, I'm just going to cut these out. I don't know if y'all can hear or not, but it is super windy here today. The trees are blowing everywhere. So when I cut out my circles, I cut them slightly smaller than the blank because when I apply my UV resin, I want to make sure that the vinyl is completely covered and it's not going to lift under anything. And typically, if I'm going to apply resin directly on top of a blank, I will scuff it up a little bit so that resin has a little bit of something to grab onto it. But since I'm applying vinyl on the blank, I am not scuffing it up. There's not really a need to. So now I have both of my sizes cut out, and I'm just going to apply them to my blanks. The circles are pretty easy to get even. I just matched it up with one side. And then you also want to make sure that all of your bubbles are out. If you need to pop them with a pin or something like that, you can do that now. So after we have all of our bubbles out of our vinyl, I'm going to apply a thin coat of resin to the vinyl layer. Now we don't need a lot of UV resin, we just want enough to cover the vinyl and the edges so that everything is protected when we add the liquid and the glitter. So I'm just bringing the UV resin to the edge with my gloved finger. I'm going to do the other one the same way. And I just let them sit for a minute or so that the UV resin will kind of level out, so we're not going to have any bumps or ridges in it. And I also take my little baby torch and pop any bubbles. I just do this very quickly to pop bubbles. And next I am going to remove the backing of the little center part and just set that right on the edge. So this way, when we cure everything, that center ring is going to cure to the UV resin. So once we pop the bubbles, I'm going to cure this for about 2 minutes, just to make sure that everything is completely cured. Now that it is cured, we are going to do the top part. So these 2 acrylic pieces are going to be the top part of our ornament. If you guys have not worked with acrylic blanks before, this brown that you see right here is just the protective layer. So once we decorate with our paint pens, we are going to remove all of that brown paper. So I'm going right in with my paint pens. My preferred paint pens are the Posca markers. They work so well. I know that they can be a little bit on the pricey side, but we do have Christmas coming up. Maybe it's something you can ask for. But these markers, I never have issues with them clogging or running out. The markers that I have had for probably almost 2 years, and I still use them. I don't have issues with them. The only colors that I have purchased more than one of are the black and white, just because I use those, and I used to use those so much for tumblers. So basically, you're just going to pick a color scheme and you're going to color in all of the engraved parts on the ornament. So one of them, I went with a more traditional Christmas theme. And the other one, I did a more pastel Christmas theme. And I was kind of picking colors that were going to go with the vinyl that was on the ornament backing, so that when you held the ornament up, it all kind of went cohesive together. I will say right now that I wish I would have selected a different vinyl than the leopard and the trees, because I feel like with the glitter in the SnowGlobe, I did add a lot of glitter, and then it just kind of looked like a composition notebook, I guess. It was just a little bit more busy than I wanted it. So I should have opted for a more solid vinyl. The pastel reindeers with the poinsettias, I really love how that turned out. So I'm just going to let this play so you guys can see how I decorate both of my ornaments. And I did go back with 2 colors of the red just to kind of make it look like a shadow. So I have like a Christmas red and then a kind of dark burgundy red. And when you are working with these markers, it is best to kind of dot to fill the engraved parts instead of actually swipe like you would a regular marker, if that makes sense. Just dotting really kind of helps fill in all of those little grooves. And I did go do a second coat of the white just to make it a little bit more opaque. So now we're going to move on to our second one. So I am doing my reindeer with my leafing pen. This is my rose gold leafing pen. I really like these. I typically just get them from Amazon, but craft stores have them as well. Just depends on if I am going to be running errands. And this light pink did not show up as well as I hoped that it would. It was just super, super light. So I did decide to go back with a darker pink just so it would stand out a little bit more. I didn't want it to blend into the background. So I like the dark pink much better. And for the snowflakes, I decided to use the silver Posca pen, and I really like this. I think this was the first time that I used this silver. I don't really like their gold that they have because it's very much like a yellowy green gold. And I like my golds to be more of like the rosy gold or an antique gold. So we're just doing our little snowflakes, and I was actually really surprised at how well the snowflakes turned out. I was worried about them kind of looking blurry because they were so little, but when you peel all the backing off, or like the protective layer, the snowflakes are actually really sharp and look really good. So now we're just coloring in some of these little dots. So once you get finished with your ornaments, we're going to let them dry completely because you don't want to smudge any of the paint. So I'm going to start with the first ornament we did, and we're just going to peel that backing off. I do it carefully just so I try to get it all off in one piece. So this paper protects the acrylic from getting any paint and unwanted spots. And I know last year Brooke used tape to get out any of these little tiny pieces of the paper, but for some reason, I guess this tape that I have now, it just did not work for me. I don't know if my paper was still too wet from the paint pens, but they were not picking up the little pieces. I was getting so frustrated. So this little hack did not work for me this year. I think it was maybe just the tape that I have. So I just ended up picking all of the interiors of letters like the R, the D, the S. They all have little pieces of paper still in them. So I just used my pen to get them all out. And then in between the reindeer as well and the sleigh, I had a lot of little pieces I had to get out of there. That's why it's a lot easier if the tape would pick it all up, but it didn't work for me. So this one is done. Now on to our next one. So again, I'm just carefully removing this. If you can get it all up in one big piece, it's a lot easier to clean up. And the tape did remove the little tiny pieces and the snowflakes, so that was at least a good thing. So once you get all of the protective paper off of here, it is time to fill the snow globe with all of your goodies. And next time I will say that I will probably buff this center ring so that when we attach the top piece, it attaches well and has something to grab onto. I just didn't even think about doing that, but I will probably do this next time. So we are just filling some glitter that I thought would go well. This is White Lady in the first one, and then in the next one we're using Topo Chico and Kinky Blow Pop. Both of these are on thedrunkflamingo.com, as well as the two vinyls that I used. I am also going to be adding some little sprinkles. I just picked out the green and pink ones because those went with the ornament colors. So I'm just cleaning the edges, and then I'm just applying just a really thin layer of UV resin along that middle piece. So we are not putting the liquid in right now. It's just the glitter. The dry ingredients. And then you're going to set your top piece on top. And it's kind of hard to see in the video because these are clear, but we are lining up the place where the ornament holder or string would go with the hole in the center piece that we applied so that everything is upright. And when I cure this, I am kind of holding down that top part just to make sure that everything is adhered well. And once the centerpiece is attached to the top piece, we are going to apply another layer of UV resin on top of the ornaments. This is so that all of the paint that we applied is also going to be protected. And again, I am just bringing this right to the edge. You don't want so much UV resin that it flows off of your ornament, but you do want to make sure that it is a decent layer so that we get a good, nice, even top coat. I will also let this sit for a little bit and pop any bubbles. And I also use a little silicone tool in case I need to bring it to the edge, or in this instant, I'm just adding a little bit of UV resin to where the little ornament holder would be, or string hook, ornament hook. I couldn't think of the word. The ornament holder. So popping our bubbles. If you have text on your ornaments, there's a good chance that bubbles are going to get stuck in there. So you can use a toothpick or a needle or something to get those bubbles out of the engraved words, and then pop them with the torch. So we're going to cure those for 2 more minutes, and then everything's going to be cured. Then we're going to get our little ornament holder. This is adorable. I highly suggest getting it. And you know, I just was gonna squirt this liquid in there, and that was not a good idea. I try to like save steps. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The bottle nozzle was too large for the little hole in the top of our ornament, so I did get out a little needle nose bottle. So definitely do this so you don't waste any of your liquid. So I just filled this bottle up. Cleaned off my mess. And then we're just squirting this in there. And I love this little holder because it holds it upright for you. There is a little indentation in the bottom to keep the ornaments from rolling. So I'm just kind of showing you guys how much I'm filling this up. So I still want a little bit of air in there so that it will move around. And I'm just checking for any leaks just to make sure that everything is sealed up well. Next, I'm going to get some alcohol, and we're going to clean off that top hole and around it so that we can put some UV resin there and seal everything up. Now, when you do this part, you're going to have to work quickly. So I have my UV light on and ready to go. So I'm just going to put a little drop right on top and then immediately hit it with my UV light so that the UV resin is not going to drip down into the liquid part of the snow globe. So I'm just holding this light here for about a minute. And I'm not too worried about how the top part looks right now because I am going to take some sandpaper and we're just going to smooth out that UV resin that we just applied. If yours is already smooth, you don't need to worry about this step. So once I sanded it down, we're just going to clean it again with alcohol. And then we're going to put another thin little swipe of UV resin Here we go. And I'm just making it a little bit more even right now. And then we're going to cure this part. And look how cute it looks. I love this, you guys. It's so cute. So I'm just shaking it up, making sure everything still works, nothing's stuck. Definitely check for leaks again, especially if you're selling these. You don't want to send an ornament off to a customer and then it be leaking everywhere. So we're going to do the second one. And again, I'm just kind of showing you guys how much liquid I put in there. I did have to refill up my little bottle. So here you can see it a little bit better. So there still is like a little bit of air in there. If I were doing a SnowGlobe tumbler, I would try to get out as much air as I could. But for these little ornaments, I do want to leave a little bit of space so that that bubble can kind of help the glitter and the clay sprinkles move around a little bit better, since it is a smaller space that we're working with. So we're doing the same thing. We're just applying a little bit of UV resin to plug that hole and immediately hitting it with that UV light. And once our holes are plugged, we are going to remove the backing of the ornament, and I'm just taking a baby wipe and wiping everything. You do not want to clean this with alcohol because alcohol will make your UV resin sticky. Now I'm just leaving my backs plain. Obviously, if y'all want to decorate them with glitter or another piece of vinyl, you can do that. But I just left mine blank for now. But how cute are these, y'all? So here is a video of one that I did on my Christmas tree. I just love it so much. And you guys can add a ribbon or an ornament hook or whatever y'all want to. And here are also some finished pictures. This one is my favorite. Like I said, this one is a little bit busy, so it's not my favorite. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If y'all have these ornaments or want to try them, please post in my groups because I love to see what you guys come up with. If y'all enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out the Drunk Flamingo Glitter Group, my tutorial group, or my Damn Fancy Tribe. All are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.